remind you that rate times time is equal to distance. It says that the driver leaves the parking lot and heads due south at a rate of 40 miles per hour. So I'm going to draw the sketch for that on the coordinate plane. So he's going south at 40 miles per hour. I will just use maybe a T to represent his distance. So 40, because rate times time is equal to distance. So this is how far he goes, 40 times T. Another driver is leaving the same parking lot and heading west at 60 miles an hour, but it looks like he leaves an hour later, which means that if we want to represent his time as well, it looks like his time is -1. Okay? Now we've been asked to find when they will be 300 miles apart. So when will this distance be 300? Okay? Do you see that we have a Pythagorean theorem here? So that means that this squared times this squared is going to equal this squared. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 60t minus 60. So I have 60t minus 60 squared, and then I have 40t squared equals 300 squared. Now be careful when you're doing the squaring, especially of this binomial. 60t times 60t is going to be 3600 t squared, and then we're multiplying the inners and the outers. Actually, let me just do this off to the side here so that you can see what's going on. 60t minus 60 times 60t minus 60. So you see that's where I got my 3600 t squared, and I multiply these two and multiply these two. That gives me 3600t, and then this one gives me 3600t, which is negative 7200t. And then when I multiply these last two, that gives me positive 3600. Okay, so lots of information here. Minus 7200t plus 3600. Okay, then we've got 40t squared, which should give me plus 1600t squared, and then 300 squared is going to give me 90,000. I believe it should be 4 zeros. Yep, 90,000. Okay, so now we have a quadratic equation, and it's a matter of adding your like terms together. I solved this one using the quadratic formula. I'm going to let you use whatever method you want. However, I would recommend that when you collect your like terms, 36 plus 16, 3600x squared, or t squared, plus 1600 t squared is going to give me 5200 t squared minus 7200. Bring my 90,000 over and have it join up with the 3600. Should give me 86, whoops, should give me negative 86,400 equal to 0. Now, what I'm going to recommend is that you divide everything by 100, and even something bigger than that if you want to, but it'll just make your quadratic equation much easier. Do you see how if you divide everything by 100, you get 52t squared minus 72 minus 864 is equal to 0. So I divided this side by 100, and I divided 0 by 100, which is why I still have 0 here. These numbers are going to be a lot easier to plug in. Ooh, I see I lost my t here. There we go. These numbers are going to be a lot easier to plug into the quadratic formula than these ginormous numbers here, so fewer opportunities for errors. I'm not going to tell you the answer. You're going to figure the rest of it out on your own. So maybe brush up on the quadratic formula.